You tell me that you learned this stuff in a normal metal workshop,
Yeah,
like any other person.
like any other
Where
person.
did this inspiration come from to get automobile into the automobile?
Thank you. I follow Americans so much, and I love American bikes. Choppers, they call it choppers. They are very expensive.
Can we have it? Is the big bike? I see you with. Is it your wife and kids on
Yeah,
it?
that's my wife and my kids. We
Okay.
always ride
Yes.
together.
Is that the bike?
No. That's the one I made for Greenhouse Ventures.
Okay.
This is the bike.
This is the chopper you're
This is the
talking
chopper,
about?
yes.
Yes. Tell us about the chopper.
Yeah, so choppers. The truth is they are very expensive. Yeah, it's like American choppers range from the cheapest is from 8 million. So me having so much love for those bikes, like answering your question, how did I come about it? Having so much love for them and knowing that, hey, Eric, you cannot raise 10 million, 12 million, 30 million to purchase a chopper. But at this level, you are a welder, so who are you waiting for? You should build one. So it happens that I was in a meeting with my colleagues, and I was the secretary, the wedding meeting that we usually have. So I told them that now we should stop all this issue of talking about the Chinese bike, the hijack, the Sanelli, the this and that. These are actually done by welders that side. So, and we are welders. It's really a disgrace for us to be sitting here and talking about what our colleagues are doing out there. So when I say I'm going to build a bike, they laughed at me. Like many people, they know me as Erico Metal, but my colleagues, many were addressing me as Erico Mental, meaning that I'm not thinking straight. How can I say I will make a bike? I say I gave you to the end of this year, and that is how I came about that, my very first bike since 2016. So I say, hey, you can make this. So I just did it. So, but I would say it took me some research because everything is online. We go to YouTube, you can see other fabricators, other companies. I follow BMW, I follow Rolls-Royce company when I dive into the love for cars. I follow companies, big companies. Yes, so that is how I came about it. So I just upped it and I built mine. And it's rather unfortunate that since then, with all those equip, I haven't seen anybody with the passion. So I would say it takes a different level of passion. I would say mine is passion. Yes, I have so much passion for automobile. So like I've been training. My recent graduate is last year. He's already doing well in his workshop. And others that have been out, like maybe 15 for the previous years, I don't see anybody with that love. So it takes a certain love for something for you to, because truly it's a lot of sacrifice in studies. But is it hard to do? No, nothing hard about it. Nothing, absolutely nothing. They're doing other stuff that are more difficult than bikes and cars and tricycles. They don't just believe they can do it. And I would say that is what set the difference. But my mission has always been to prompt them, to bring them out, to understand that they cannot just remain there. So, but I believe that many and most of my apprentices from 2019 have been so much interested in automobiles. So I believe the brand I'm having now, the generation I'm training now will be different. Sooner or later you have many Cameroonians doing this for a living.
Many Cameroonians are going to engage in this.
Yes.
Now, you say the raw material is readily available in Cameroon. Yeah, but where do you buy them from?
We have our markets, we have companies that sell raw material. When we talk about raw material, I'm talking about iron. Yes, we have iron of every quality, every category, everything from cast to iron to stainless to whatever model you want. It's all in our market. We have them. There are companies around Congene, Foco, and so on and so forth. And then when we're going for imported irons, of course, there are shops for that. We call it cast, but there are shops for that they brought in imported irons.
So what you do is you go get the irons, and how do you form the body?
I've made my stencils.
Okay.
Yeah, because most of the tools, I wouldn't blame my other colleagues because, like, you really need to invest in yourself. I have invested so much in my tools that I believe that is the only thing that eats my money. I only invest in tools. If I cannot purchase it, I build it. But 90% of my tools, I build them. Apart from the welding machines, the filing machines, the benders, I build them. I fabricate them. So if I need a particular machine that can bend a pipe like that one you're seeing, it will be too expensive to buy it. There are prefabricated machines in the market for that, but they are very expensive. But at my level, I can make them. So this is what I always do. If I want something and I cannot afford it, then I look at the option. But you can make it because it's done by welders, and I don't limit myself. I go beyond boundaries. I do everything that anybody has ever done, and I do what nobody has even done. Yes, I have that in me. So it takes self-belief, it takes a willpower. It's a willpower. You just have to be confident about it that you can do it, and you will do it just like it. Fear is the only thing that set the differences, that set people, that make people to not to excel. Yeah, I would say that is fear, but with me, there is just nothing I cannot do.
Okay, there's nothing you cannot do. Eric says he has been able to produce bikes. I saw a car where you were standing on it. Did you form that car?
No, I didn't form that car, but I transformed that particular one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a Starlet, old model Starlet. So if you look at the frontage, it's the concept of a Rolls Royce.
Yes.
Yes, and the door, the concept of the Rolls Royce door, they open like the door. So I transformed that. I did that on that particular one. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
And since you started this, how long did it take from when you studied this metal work to engaging in what you're doing today?
I would say I've been into welding for 20 years. Don't be surprised at my age that I've been into welding for 20 years, because the truth is that I have many people told me not to be using this word, but it's the fact. I never went to school. It's the fact. I never went to school. After my first school leaving, I just dived into welding as an apprentice. After 3 years of study, I graduated, and I was doing what every other welder in Cameroon is doing. Then all of a sudden, after training a couple of apprentices and they graduated, I'm like, okay, what can we do? I cannot keep on coming up with new designs of doors and gates and this, but we can do more than this. So that's how I dive into it. And I started by producing mine because I had love for it. I love luxury cars. I love luxury bikes. These are things that come with heavy prices. And if I said, okay, let me keep working and saving, it might take me forever to if I was to work and be saving for the past years, I might not have purchased that bike. It is not easy for a Cameroonian, an average Cameroonian, to raise 13 million to buy a bike just for riding. You see, so, but I see, hey, I can use, American stuffs are different though, but you can do the same. I can take the prototype, I build the same thing. Using now the Chinese engine will not be too costly, but I will have the same structure of what it's about the designing. So it's about the designing. So they're brown theirs and they are too expensive from the engine, from the customers and what. But I'm riding a chopper. It's mine, I build it, but it cost me literally nothing. Okay,
the chopper, how many have you constructed so far?
Well, the chopper is since 2016, the very first one, since 2016. Mine, I have 3 different models. I have the bigger one, I have a shorter one, and I have one that is like a Roadmaster that have big size like
okay, that's one of them?
Yeah, that's the very first one. The one you just passed now is one that is, this is the one that I can carry people with. But there is one that I design only for one chair for me, myself. When I want to ride alone, there's one for that.
Is it this?
Nah, this is for a client. This is a chopper. This is a chopper, but it's an average chopper. It's a luxury bike. It's not for commercial. If you look at the way the steering is the long and then the shock, the back tire, you see that it's just for leisure. You cannot use it for commercial actually. And it's low. You see the engine is low all the way down, so you cannot. Yes, that is designed only for luxury, for leisure riding. Like we buy private cars and people buy taxis, and there are 2 different types like that. You can't use that for commercial.